G7 countries have made a financial commitment of $382 million to immediately avert the looming famine in Nigeria's northeast and tackle the root causes. British High Commissioner to Nigeria disclosed this in Abuja as she welcomed partners from the Nigerian government and diplomatic mission to launch the G7 Famine Prevention and Humanitarian Compact. Representatives of the G7 countries in Nigeria stressed the need for effective and collaborative approach to respond to Nigeria's humanitarian crisis and avert the looming famine.
We are deeply concerned about the situation. 8.7 million people need assistance in northeast Nigeria. 1.9 billion people have been displaced because of the conflict. And because of the conflict, we are seeing alarming rates of malnutrition and elevated risk of famine. So we've come together as the G7 with a commitment to address the immediate crisis, but also to tackle the root causes of the famine. Money is clearly important, but it's not the only issue. It's also about diplomatic action, smarter financing, and much more focus on the root causes of the conflict. But on the money, the G7 has agreed to provide an initial $7 billion in humanitarian assistance for the various crises around the world. And that includes $382 million for the crisis in northeast Nigeria. So in northeast Nigeria, I chair the Northeast Ambassadors Group, and a number of us recently visited northeast Nigeria to work with the governor, particularly the governor of Borno State, who's the chair of the Northeast governors, to work with him on translating this G7 compact into a compact between us on the international side and him as the chair of the Northeast governors, to ensure that our respective agendas are brought together and we can support him in trying to tackle the serious crisis.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs Sadiya Farouk, who was represented by Mr. Umar Bindir, appreciated the G7 countries for their support and assistance to Nigeria.
To see that we are going to spend nearly $400 million in the Northeast, most importantly to help build capacity, invoke technical support and strengthen the people and the government in the process of forging and delivering humanitarian services. Of interest is when you mentioned people who could not be easily reached, inaccessible people. Well, there are probably more than 1 million of them, and for that to be recognized under this package is actually a huge plus. Thank you very much. So on behalf of the government, and most importantly, Her Excellency, the Minister of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, who I'm representing here, we will partner with you very, very closely as an arm of this government. We are already working very, very closely with all the governors in the Northeast, and indeed all the governors in Nigeria.
U.S. Deputy Chief of Mission to Nigeria also stressed the need for a comprehensive and collaborative approach, especially with the military, to avoid a worse situation.
I would like to echo something that the British High Commissioner said about money alone won't solve the problem. What's very, very important, and we as key donors are working closely with the governors in the northeastern part of the country, but even more important is to make sure that on the ground in those areas we have really good communication and collaboration between the military authorities, the state government authorities, and also the non-governmental organizations that are working there. Everyone has to be on the same page, and everyone should take a victim-centric approach to taking care of the needs of the people who are at risk for famine. And we can't underestimate what the situation is going to be like coming this summer.